Hello and welcome to the BTEC AV Mount showroom here in the heart of the UK. I'm here to talk to you about our System X range of mounting solutions, which is right behind me over here. So System X was born out of necessity for BTEC. We've been long making custom-made solutions for menu boards and things like video walls and betting shop applications where it's multiple rows of screens, different sizes, and every time we were doing it we were custom making to that specific screen or that specific size, which is obviously quite difficult for us to manage. We'd always end up with stock of the wrong solutions because the screens kept changing. So we really thought back to how we can centralize around something that's a fairly off-the-shelf solution, but to still be very flexible and create these really essentially bespoke solutions. And from that we came up with System X. So System X is entirely centered around what you see behind me here, which is a rail. So this rail is the standard component you'll see across the entire System X range, be that wall-mounted, floor-standing, bolt-down mobile or even ceiling applications. So the rail itself is held in stock in all of our BTEC locations and with our key distribution partners. Off the shelf it's available from 0.3 metres up to 3 metres in length, but typically we tend to not really go above 2 metres to ease the logistics. So these rails themselves we can join together to create whatever length you need. So we've got installations in the wild now of over 100 metres in a single length, particularly for those sort of airport check-in style installations. And as you can see, we can use these finger bars here to join rails together to create whatever lengths we require. So that's the rails themselves. These are shown here fixed to the wall using these wall fixing plates. Very solid, very secure. And here are the standard interface solutions. So to mount your standard screens, we've got fixed solutions in VESA 200 and 400, and you'll see all of our arms feature at the very least a micro adjustment for vertical height and a locking screw so that once it's installed you can securely fit that onto the rail. Then our tilting solutions in 200 or 400 VESA. A nice little thing on these is these integrated notches, so you can preset your tilt to wherever you require, lock it off so that every single screen is locked to the exactly same tilt position. Those locking positions are at 0 through to 20 degrees in 5 degree increments, and then you're hooking back on, locking into place and then levelling. This is then the slightly more intricate mount. So this is our micro adjustment mount. So this again, it's fixed flat to the wall, but you'll see you've got on here these knobs. Now these are micro adjustment knobs. So as I turn each of these, you're microscopically moving each component in and out. So one turn is a 4 millimeters, and obviously you can do fraction of a millimeter as you go. So this allows you to seamlessly line any screen, regardless if the rail's on the wall straight or if the wall's got some deviations. So you can adjust these in and out on all 4 corners of the screen, and indeed up and down as well, using this knob. And you can see along the depth control and the height control, you've actually got these little guide markers here, so you know where you are. We're very popular in rental markets, so if you're installing these several times over, these notches are really handy to just reset the arms back to the 0 position. So that's the standard micro adjust arms. Then we've used all the same features of these onto our pop-out arms. So this is a push to release bracket, and then it's got all those same key features of the depth control and the height adjustment control, but in that locking, push in, push out, lock in feature. You can see on my right hand side, this is a 2x2 typical pop out installation here, and again it's a push to release. We'll come back to that in a second. The next arms we've got are our VESA 800 and VESA 1200 extra large arms. So these are capable of taking extreme weights, up to 200 kilograms on both of these solutions when mounted across 2 arms. The 800 VESA arm can actually fit across a single rail as well if required. Quite popular for using for portrait installations where perhaps you don't need to put 2 rails on there if the screen's not going to be excessive in weight. So again, single or dual. And the 1200 arms there, again, for very, very large portrait screens. And we're actually starting to use these in some DV-LED installations where there are key fixing centres on the back of the screens, allowing you to install in one go, which is great. So this is showing it all wall mounted. Obviously this is being BTEC, everything's intercompatible with all our other ranges as well. So shown above us here, this is our ceiling mounted menu board type system, fitted to our standard System 2 ceiling mount. So our standard 7822, very heavy duty, takes up to 200 kilograms per column, and again the poles are available off the shelf from 0.5 metre up to 3 metre and extendable. So this is very simple. These are just 32-inch screens, but also shown on a curve. So on the screen over here, there's actually an angle adjustable plate behind here, which is infinitely adjustable up to 45 degrees, and you can preset it to suit whatever the depth and width of screens that you require. Obviously, you will work with BTEC for us to pre-configure the exact dimensions of what you need to create those. So this is ceiling mounted, wall mounted. I'll go back to this pop-out solution here just to show you those arms in action. So joining these two arms at the back is an interlinking bar. This means that if you need to left and right adjust the screens, you can move them in one piece together nice and easily. So if we shift it left and right, it will move as one, nice and easy. And once you pop these in and pop them out, the key thing to notice is there's no droop as it extends. So there's no risk at all of when you're releasing or replacing a screen, the screens colliding with the screens around them, especially critical at the moment with screen bezels now below 1 millimetre. There's not a lot of strength to the edge of the screen, so you've got to be really careful not to collide those glasses as you're releasing. And again, you can see the pop-out action and the micro adjustment knobs in situ, and then push to replace. That locks in. Now once it's locked in, we can lock it off so it can no longer left and right adjust, but we can also put in a locking screw to avoid accidental release. So you can't pop it out without releasing those screws. So that's all the wall and ceiling mounted. We've also got a vertical column as well. So this vertical column expands the System X range hugely. So allowing our standard System X rails to fit onto a column gives us plenty of opportunity to scale this up. So here it is shown as a single totem, just simply floor fixed to the floor there with a floor fixing base. This is a 1.8 metre column. We can actually go up to 4.2 metres with these columns, and in most situations you won't need to bolt those back to a wall either. In the back of these columns we've got sort of full cable management as well. So here are some removable covers. You can see the cables coming out to the top and entering into the bottom there. Very nice and easy to access, and if you need to bring cables out in the middle of the covers, you can, as demonstrated. So you can then bring cables out to go exactly behind your screens as well, very simply. I'll walk you through to some more System X over here to show how it's scalable. So again, available in black and silver, these vertical columns. We can attach accessories to the front as well as obviously the System X rails to mount the screens. We've got a floor base here, so this is just a freestanding single column base. We also do larger bases for creating more video wall style applications. So these are very, very heavy duty. So this structure here, we're showing it with 2.4 metre columns. You can go up to 4.2 metres freestanding using these bases, up to a maximum of 100 kilograms per column. So there's no fully scalable on these. Shown here again, that standard System X rail, which is adjustable in height and width, and our micro adjustment arms on these. So these aren't pop out, these are just those micro adjustments, because you've got full access to the rear for the screen for servicing if required. But there's no reason why you can't also use the pop out arms on this same wall. You could also use a combination of both. So if, for example, you wanted to really keep one row fully fixed because you've got access, but you wanted access to the centre rows, there's no reason why you couldn't just use pop-outs on the centre rows to give access to both those screens and also the screens behind. Just to sort of mix and match. There's spaces included in every bracket to enable you to do that. So that's the System X very brief overview range. So like I say, infinitely scalable. Only about 30 or so components in its basis form, but you can use those to create tens and tens of thousands of potential installations. Trying to identify exactly what parts you're going to need to create those installations is where we use our clever tools. So on our website, there's an online configurator for System X and also for our DV LED solutions. From there, all you need to do is click if it's going to be wall mounted, freestanding, mobile or bolt down. Select your screen size, 32 inch, 42 inch up to 75 inch, and tell us how many screens wide, how many screens high, and which interface function you want. So fix, tilt, micro adjust or pop out. Click a button, that gives us everything we need and creates a single part code for yourself. And that part code tells us everything that's going to go into that bill of materials to create your solution, and of course it gives you a price as well. So we issue those to our key distribution partners to do your own quotations, or you can request a quote through the website as well. Very, very simple. And that's all on our website, which is btechavmounts.com. Thank you for looking.